to miss 3 calls from her boss. Gail Woodrow, CEO of Digital Strategies in LA, didn't believe in leaving messages. She simply called until Sarah answered, which was usually immediately. "Too long," she said. "Be careful." If he fell too, she would be stuck in a staircase with her high school crush, who looked even better in person than he did in his Facebook photos. In tight, faded, dirty denim, work boots, and a black t-shirt with white paint splatters on the chest, he would have caused her heart to race any day, but right now, the embarrassment and fear of falling were all she could think about. This was not the way she had envisioned running into him when she'd gotten the call about her grandmother's passing and had made her plans to return to her hometown of Blue Moon Bay. She was a successful professional now, with an amazing promotion pending and a rent-controlled apartment in downtown LA, not the gangly, dorky teen he must remember. Yet here she was, falling right back into her old, awkward ways. "Stay still. I'm going to get you out." He headed back down the stairs, and less than 30 seconds later, he returned wearing his tool belt, which would normally be a sight fit for a fantasy, but he was also holding an ominous-looking tool in his hand. Her eyes widened. "What's that?" "A skill saw." "Are you sure about this?" "Do you want to live in the stairs?" "Maybe there's another way to get me out." She'd always been deathly afraid of anything sharp. The sight of needles made her feel faint. This saw thing brought an instant rush of sweat and had her mouth salivating as though she were about to throw up. It was going to require a shit ton of trust on her behalf to let him use that thing so close to her body, and trust was not something that came easily to her. Especially not with him. "Do you have another idea?" he asked. "How about you stand beneath me and I'll let go?" He looked amused by the idea. "Serve as a crash mat?" Or, more heroically, "You could catch me?" Tempting. But no, we'll do it this way. He started the saw, and her palms went slippery against the wood, making it even harder to hold on. "Fine." She squeezed her eyes shut as she heard the loud buzzing of the death machine draw nearer, and he carefully cut the wood around her. Pressure at her upper body eased, but so did the grip of her forearms on the wood. "I'm slipping," she said, opening her eyes. It would be just her luck to survive the saw just to fall anyway. Wes grabbed her arms. "Ready on 3. 1, 2. He pulled, and her body lifted from the hole. Wood shards scraped against her stomach, but at least she was free, with just a few scratches and deep embarrassment to show for her ordeal. He quickly shifted his weight between 2 lower stairs as he settled her in a safer spot of the top landing on the 3rd floor. His hands on her body seemed to burn into her flesh, so she brushed them away and quickly moved out of reach. She did not need him touching her. In her somewhat fragile current state, who knew what she'd do next? Cry on his shoulder, maybe? Those broad, muscular shoulders? Nope. She was a strong, successful, independent woman. She could handle this latest disaster fine on her own, now that he'd freed her from the stairs anyway. "Thanks," she mumbled, avoiding his gaze. He nodded. "No problem. I saw the rental car parked outside and thought maybe a guest was trying to check in or something, but I hear you're the one who inherited the place." There was a hint of disbelief in his voice that mirrored her own. She'd been just as stunned when her grandmother's will was read the day before, naming her as beneficiary. "I guess news travels fast in a small town," she said, forcing several deep breaths to calm her anxiety. "Did your grandmother hate you by any chance?" "I'm starting to think so." "You're not staying here, are you?" Wes asked. He meant at the B&B, but Sarah had just been wondering the same about Blue Moon Bay. She'd been back in her hometown for 2 days, 7 hours, and, she checked her watch, 29 minutes, and already her